Hey there. Yeah, well, this is the day after picking up Buster from the shop. Well, in the last video, that was basically going over most of the process of taking the rental back. You know, I briefly showed some problems with the car. Well, as I spent more time yesterday just looking over the car, I discovered a lot more issues that I'm not very happy with. You know, these are professional, you're supposed to be professional, skilled workers in a professional environment, providing a professional service, and yet I don't think I received that. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain that in today's video.
Let's have some fun on Karz Created.
On top of the other things, we'll go ahead and start with, they're not supposed to leave their tools underneath my car. So this was left on top of the subframe right next to the engine. Normally, I wouldn't think that's a big deal, but you know, had I not found this, there's always a possibility of the engine heat, as long as it stayed on there, the engine heat getting to it, it's battery powered. If the battery explodes, well, that's a fire hazard. If they're lucky, I'm a nice guy and I'm gonna give that back to them. But there's more than that. So one of the real big things that was bugging me is going over the invoice here. This is all the things that they've replaced or removed or repaired. When you go down here, you see front suspension, and then you see left front lower control arm without performance package, left rear lower control arm without performance package. So there were a couple different items, including the wind tray on there, which also says without performance package. I was under the assumption that all of that was performance pack parts, but after some researching and cross-referencing and all that, I think I have realized that they are the indeed correct parts that go on this car. So I can cut them slack on that one. Aside from that, I'm gonna re-go over the things that are definitely visible. So yeah, there's a lot of residue here from those rubber strips that I get it. I put them on, they weren't part of the accident. But if they were gonna peel them off, I wish they would have, I don't know. I just bought some adhesive remover. I'm gonna try to get them off. But you can see underneath here that this isn't right. So I think this is actually broke, and well, I didn't break it, so who did? So that's definitely a concern. On top of the fitment of all the panels up here are not great. This gap is definitely bigger than it should be. I can tell that's not right. Up here on the hood's not even with the fender. There's a lip here, and that I'm pretty sure isn't supposed to be like that. I mean, up here is, no, because it's even sitting lower up here too, so that just doesn't seem right to me. See, it feels like it's flush here, but not here. I just don't remember that ever being like that. Up here, there's a gap here that's not supposed to be there, and well, there it is. It's not over here, so I'm not sure what the deal is, but that was the headlight that needed to be replaced. So I'm not sure what's behind there that's not right. And you can even look and follow the lines. This gap here looks okay, but then you go over here, this one looks wider. So definitely there's just a lot of things not where they need to be. And this gap on this fender looks a little wide, but better than the other side. And up here too, I noticed things just don't look quite right with all the rubber molding and trim and everything. I've kind of been sneaking all this back where it's supposed to go. And yeah. So aside from all that, let me pop the hood and show you something else I discovered that kind of really ticked me off, because it's not so much what I found, like what it is, but the fact that it happened really POs me. So I'll go ahead and open this up. I was doing some investigation under here, and Yeah, remember I showed you that the trim piece on my Mishimoto intake is missing, and it was not damaged. They just pulled it off and decided to not put it back. I don't even understand why they pulled it off, but they did. Aside from that, everything else under here looks mostly okay. I don't see anything else that doesn't look like it isn't supposed to be where it is, or, you know, things look fine. Something else I noticed here on the hood, as you look over here, you know, there's this little rubber trim piece that sits, you know, it's supposed to sit right here on top of the headlight, you know, and it's only in there with some plastic clips, but hey, where's this side? That's not cool. So when I was up here looking, I'm like, what the hell? And then I see this right here. Yeah, you see that? That is someone's shoe. It looks like a boot print right on this. Not to mention, clips are missing over here, so that's unfortunate. But someone stepped on this. I mean, look, it's not the fact that there's a shoe print here, but who does that? I mean, that's completely disrespectful. Whoever's shoe print this doesn't belong to their car. This is someone else's property. And they go and step on it. And okay, fine, if it was a mistake, if this fell down and you kind of lost your balance and you fell backwards and you stepped on it by accident, okay, fine. At least clean it. Don't leave your damn shoe print there. Like, what the hell? Oh, look, I didn't realize there's a clip there that's missing too. The more I look, the more I find, honestly. At this point, it's kind of like, wow, Kirk, I mean, they didn't really do you too good. No, I don't think they did. I mean, yeah, at least the paint matches. There's just so many other things that kind of offset that. Like, I expect the paint to match. I don't expect to have all these other things wrong. And, you know, as far as the paint goes, yeah, it's been really good. Except I noticed one thing about the paint that was wrong. And I just cannot even understand what happened here. So I was down here trying to get this adhesive off. I was working on this a little bit with what I had yesterday. And, you know, I just looking around and I look up, I noticed that, you know, there were some chips here in the side and it looks like they just kind of painted over them. And I'm like, okay, you know, it doesn't look great, but it looks better than it did. But I come up here and I notice something ain't right here on this edge. And you wouldn't believe it, but look, I don't know if you can tell. Let me see if I can pick that up on the camera. Can I pick that up on the camera? There it is, right there. There's a run in the paint right here. I don't know if it looks like clear coat. Right here, right around the door handle here. Nothing here, but it's right here. There's a run. It goes from here all the way here. So that's probably about 4 or 5 inches right there that it ran. And I went and checked all the other ones. I didn't find any more, but that's not right. That's not how the car was when it dropped off, and it's certain hell ain't gonna be like that. I don't know what they're gonna have to do to fix it, but they're gonna have to fix it. You see the problem here, man. There's just a lot of things wrong. It's unfortunate when you spend all the time and frustration to have your car fixed and there's not fixed right. The majority of it didn't come out of my pocket. I still had to pay my deductible, which was a lot more money than I really wish I could have spent right now. And I'm still paying money to have my car fixed, and it's not fixed the way it needs to be fixed. So it's just so mind-boggling. It's just unbelievably frustrating. You know, having to deal with this. I mean, because I did my research. First and foremost, this shop was recommended to me by Enterprise. And the guy was like, yeah, I got my car work done. I looked at, he had like a really nice new Kia, like a K900 or whatever, one of the nice new Kia sedans. And I'm like, dang, that thing does look nice. I'm like, all right. So I looked around, I went and checked reviews. The reviews were all positive. Like, they do great work. They're very, you know, they're very detailed and this, that. And I'm like, good, that's where I want to go to take my car. I want those kind of people working on my car. And so then I did more research. They're OEM certified repair from a bunch of different, most of the major brands, you know. So that sounded good to me. They weren't going to use some bootleg parts on my car, which is nice. I would like mostly Ford parts to be replaced with Ford parts. So it all checked out until I got the car back. I cannot believe everything that is now wrong with the car. And see, now I've been looking around because they have taken so much apart according to the invoice. So much has been taken apart for reasons I don't understand why. And I'm just looking around. Look, they removed my rear seats and they're not in right. Look at that. That's not supposed to come up like that. So I don't know why they removed the rear seats, but they did. They're not put back the way they're supposed to be. I'm pretty sure they removed the whole dash. I know, like, most of it's just, it comes out in one piece. Everything looks fine. I don't know if they did or didn't, because everything looks about the same as it was. So it's hard to tell if they actually did remove anything, but it says they did. So I don't really know. Everything looks like it's fine. The only evidence suggesting they did do it is if you look up front here, you see some insulating foam sitting behind the dash that is exposed now. Before that wasn't. So I guess they did remove that. And I gotta go and look on the other side here. And evidently they also removed the trunk lid. I don't know why they did and why they would have to, but everything looks fine there. Everything looks fine back here. Everything looks fine there. Okay, that's all how it was. That's not how that was. That's got to go back. That just screws in there like that. That ain't no big deal. Alright. Well, I think that checks out. See, I always had a damn problem with this headliner not fitting right. That's just a Ford problem. But I think that is mostly everything that I have found wrong, which is a lot more than you think it should be when you've spent and when you've waited a whole month to have your car repaired. I sent it to him with one set of problems and it comes back with a whole new set of problems. I think this is like the way of the world anymore. It's like nothing ever gets done right the first time, and it's sad. I would be livid. I mean, I am livid. But I would be freaking beating someone's door down, and if I spent the amount of money it costs to repair all of this that the insurance company has covered, if that amount of money was spent doing this out of pocket and there's still things wrong, man, I would not be happy. Oh no, I noticed something else that's not right. So in the fenders here, here it is. You can see it. This foam piece here is supposed to sit right there, so it's blocks off this part of the door here, and yeah, that's not where it belongs either. See, the more I look, the more I find wrong, and what it all comes down to is it looks like this was just rushed. It was half-assed and it was rushed. That does not give me much confidence at all in their work. You know, I'm not confident at all that most of what was done right, seeing the amount of things wrong with this car. So yeah, even though it's back in the driveway for now, it's not going to be for long, because it's got to get, these things have to get fixed. I don't know when they're going to take care of it, but they're going to take care of it, and I ain't paying for it, and neither should the insurance company. This is their problem at this point. This is their work, and they need to fix it. So, and I still needed to determine what's wrong with the boost max. The shop states that car was running like crap after they parked it in the back of the lot. Remember the video I made when I went to go visit it and all of it was torn apart? They said ever since then it ran like crap. Well, my guess is because someone unplugged the the tip sensor down at the bottom there and plugged in the wrong harness, because, you know, have the boost max intercepts the factory harness, and things weren't right. So I still don't know if they screwed up the boost max or not, but they claim that it was like that when they got it, which I know is bullshit, because they've already said that it was only running bad when it was parked in the back. I know the car was running fine when it left, because when I had all of her stuff delivered, they had the storage containers parked on the driveway. Well, this was also on the driveway, and I had to move it. I moved it over here to the grass, and it ran fine. Didn't do nothing goofy. So it only ran wrong after it got to the shop. So I don't know how I can prove that, because if they did somehow damage this is a $300 part, and I don't know how I can hold them responsible for that. because I don't really have any direct proof other than maybe just complaining enough or yelling at someone enough. All I know is that it worked before the car went there and it doesn't now. Or at least it didn't. I don't know. I'll have to take some time and hook it back up and see maybe now if it works. But if it doesn't, I'm going to be very, very upset. So yeah, the saga continues. The nightmare, unfortunately, has not ended. And we still have quite a bit of things to figure out with Buster before I can get to enjoy it again. So, oh goodness gracious. As this progresses and as updates come along, I'll let you know, and you know, we'll, I guess, get this figured out sooner and later, but as of now, that's all I have for the update on the Mustang. So anyways, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share with everyone you know. If you want to see more content like this and you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, keep a lookout for the next true car enthusiast video.